Hello, everyone. Welcome to our second Intel FutureGen broadcast of 2024. Intel FutureGen is a joint program between ourselves and Intel, where we take 20 students each year who are interested in careers in gaming and esports after they graduate and give them opportunities to expand their knowledge and network. Over the next few months, we'll be providing you with a series of broadcasts with industry experts, which are open to everyone. Today we have Cameron, also known as Doig. Doig is a senior software engineer at Blast, as well as an ex-NSC Dota 2 admin. So Doig, I believe you have a little presentation to start us off with.
Yes, I do. So, hello everyone. My name's Cameron Doig, and I'm a senior software engineer for the live in-game and R&D department at Blast. I'm going to explain a little bit about what we do in this department at Blast. So, first of all, I want to take a bit of a step back to compare an esports show to like a football and a music production, because there's so many more moving parts in an esports production compared to these two. There are so many more departments and bits that need to cleanly come together to produce the best show possible. And just to pick out a few that don't exist in traditional sporting and music events, we have like in-game tech, referees, show automation, player cams, all things that are massively integral parts to an esports show. And we have a lot of work that goes into making these parts work. Now I look at like the journey of how we create an esports event and a show. We have in-arena cameras and crew capturing everything that happens. You then have players competing on a stage with individual player cams, observers capturing key moments of that, custom HUD and integrations enhancing the viewer experience. This all gets distributed internally, where directors pick out what they want to show, and then that gets distributed itself to platforms and takers around the globe. So it's a lot of moving parts that all need to come together to produce a Blast show. It's an absolutely crazy world that I think I could spend hours talking about, kind of how this all comes together. You can see on the right a little diagram of all the parts that we have, that we own, and that we have to hire in to make an event happen. It's absolutely mad. It's a massively complex system that all needs to perfectly come together to create a Blast broadcast. So what is in-game tech? What do we do in the live in-game and R&D department? Our whole goal is to kind of enhance the viewer experience, whether it's through statistics for graphics, creating a HUD, a listen-in segment, anything like that. We also create tools for production, like control panels to give overviews for games for producers. We made things like a machine learning tool that shows distribution of players observed for FNCS, so they know that there's equal representation across all 100 players. Things like labeling player cams throughout broadcast systems, so directors easily know who's on what camera and what's going on. Automation of a lot of things, such as like recording TeamSpeak for teams, camera labeling, pyro, lighting. And then we also focus on performance. So we really pride ourselves on the performance of our in-game system. So things like the latency of the game changing compared to the HUD, stuff like that. We really want to make this the best experience possible when you're watching a Blast production. So if we take a little bit of a deeper dive into something like the HUD, these are some of the things that we focus on. It's the old HUD from 20 up to 2023, but a lot of the things have stayed the same. A lot of the philosophy behind it has stayed the same. There's a couple of things on there just to look at. We care about like color grading, how the game looks. We don't want it to look very dull, which especially with CS, some of the maps did look incredibly dull. Things like creating a nice mini map for everyone to see who player faces on, so you can easily tell who's who and where they are on the map. Dynamic things like when they're damaged, it shows kind of the yellow bar to show how much damage they took. Things like utility power, firepower, having a player cam in the middle, so you can focus on who the person is that someone's observing. And then things like partner integration. So we have logos and placements logos and inserts throughout the broadcast. So, skipping over. Yeah, and here's a couple of other things that that we focus on to really give the blast experience at an event. We want to create a different and a really special in arena experience compared to like online watching. So we have sidebars in an arena, and then have to have a different feed that goes to the arena without the normal sidebars on the HUD. Because then that really gives the most real estate possible to the game and really creates a special in arena experience. We have the live listening segments, which automatically detects who's speaking in TeamSpeak. It has a little box that lights up whenever they speak. That brings people a lot closer to the players. Means you can play key moments of a game, and it brings the fans a lot closer to teams and really understands how they work. And then things like automation of pyro and lighting in the arena, camera mapping to the arena, and then we've worked on performance testing to make sure our HUD is as quick as possible, and so it isn't kind of noticeably laggy when they're switching players. And then this is when we built the new HUD for the major. This is something we were incredibly proud of. We completely overhauled all our back-end systems and the HUD itself. I think Blast prides itself as being quite disruptive in the industry. We don't want to just keep to the way things are traditionally done. So we want to shake things up a bit and create a whole new experience for watching Counter-Strike. So together with our designers, we created this whole new HUD. Just completely throwing a curveball into how CS is watched and the traditional HUD layout. And this is kind of the evolution of where we've gone with our Counter-Strike HUD. You can see in the first picture that's what CS:GO used to look like with the normal HUD. Just completely strip that back, create our own experience, and we've kind of evolved from, especially if you look back to, I didn't get any pictures from 2017, but the first Blast event up until now, there's been such a huge change and design philosophy around our HUDs. That's just a little bit of what we work on at Blast. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. We'll just go into a short little Q&A now. So, Doig, tell us a little bit about your career journey. So, like, first of all, why did you want to have a career within the esports industry?
So I guess I started off just playing Dota. I was a huge Dota nerd ever since Dota 2 came out. When I joined university, I started playing in the Dota team. And at the time, there was something called Arrow League, which happened. Me and one of my friends then took over adminning Arrow League because the two people running it before then had left uni. And from there, we just got contacted by someone at ESL to come and help at EGX, and I think it was 2017, and it all just kind of exploded from there. I kept on getting more and more admin work, doing the various ESL UK events that were going on. Then when you guys took over the Dota scene, carried on with you guys running the Dota events. Worked my first Blast event in 2018 in Lisbon, and then it's all kind of gone from there. I think just my interest in esports and Dota specifically, and my love for watching Dota tournaments just kept me going. Like the dream was to be able to be at a tier 1 Dota event through working all these events, and luckily that happened in 2018. It was all just love for the scene and wanting to see everything succeed.
Awesome. So you mentioned obviously, you're at university. What did you study whilst you're at university, and like where did you go?
So I went to Swansea University and I did a bachelor's in computer science. There was nothing to do with esports in my degree. I did my dissertation focused on Android mobile app security, so not the most exciting thing compared to esports, but yeah, kind of kept a focus on my degree, but kept esports as a passion on the side, and then in the end have applied a lot of what I've learned in computer science to esports.
Awesome, that's great. So yeah, you mentioned that you were a freelance admin for NSE. Did you get other esports experience before Blast? I know you spoke a little bit about ESL. Um, what have you? Did you have any others? Like, how did getting like a wider esports experience help you with like a full-time position?
So yeah, I worked with Blast, ESL HQ, ESL UK, EGL, Epic LAN, um, absolute ton of companies. I think learning, seeing how everyone does things and kind of taking the best bits from each of them has been very useful in the years that I've been working or had been working with everyone, and just getting the experience from being at events. Um, things go wrong at different events. It's learning how to deal with them. And doing different roles at different events for a lot of kind of the ESL and Blast stuff. I was a tournament admin for Epic LAN. I was the head of esports media for a couple of events. So I was helping set up all the like commentator streaming setups and all that, just getting a real wide amount of experiences and a grasp of how every event is run was really important.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in terms of like NSC, when we put our finals on, it's everyone all hands on deck. So yeah, be doing a bit of everything really. So your position as a senior software engineer, like what does that look like on a day-to-day basis?
So first and foremost, we our team are software engineers, so we normally work 9 to 5 until you get to events, and then it's a little bit more hectic. But we just spend our 9 to 5 working on software to enhance all the broadcasts. Yeah, right now we're a team of 4, and we each kind of focus on various aspects of titles and parts of the broadcast that we want to make better. We just work together to develop cutting edge software to enhance the broadcast.
Cool. So obviously your presentation built on like overall what's happening at Blast and everything that goes into it. Um, it's obviously quite complex in broadcast, especially when it comes to live events as well. So like, what are some of the challenges that take place during those events that like your team has to address?
Um, I mean, during events, anything can happen. Things like observers crashing. Yeah, there are so many different things that can go wrong. So we have to set up redundancy, make sure if anything were to go wrong, we have to plan around that. We have to have systems ready to deal with it. Um, Things like, if player cams were to suddenly turn off, you don't want black screens all over the broadcast. Observers crashing, you don't want something to cut to black, so that looks awful. um, Online events, you can have issues with the data feeds that we're getting in for statistics, stuff like that. And all the venues, like every single venue you go to offers some kind of different problem that you need to overcome. So really we just need to be ready for absolutely everything and have a fail safe for if something goes wrong. have a switch you can flick and turn everything over to a backup, or just have things
Yeah.
in place ready for when something goes wrong, because it's never if, it's when something breaks when you're talking about technology.
I guess sort of like a bonus question on top of that is like, do you have like a specific problem or challenge that's like come to mind when thinking about that? Um, if
I mean,
there's
I guess
potentially like a worse one.
I think the biggest thing is having the main observer crash. That's
Yeah,
during a Counter-Strike event, that is
that'll
like
do
the
it.
worst case scenario. Is so yeah, it's having backup systems in place. So yeah, it's only black for a fraction of a second compared to being stuck on black for a while and everyone complaining in
Yeah,
Twitch chat and slapping in the
yeah,
T-Tors in
definitely
chat.
don't want that. So how do you think esports broadcasting has like changed over the past few years, and like where do you think it'll go in the future, maybe?
um, I think mainly everything's just got so much better. Um, Competition drives innovation. So having all these competitor like tournament operators trying to run circuits just means it's driving the quality of broadcasts up. If you go and watch any event from 2015, 16, 17, you compare it to now, everyone like there's such a huge difference. Everyone has got so much better at running CS events, and it's also becoming a lot more mainstream. You're seeing a lot of TV TV channels showing Counter Strike and showing other games. as it becomes more mainstream, more money gets pumped into it. There's more money available to put on a bigger and better show. So I think hopefully in the future, more money will carry on getting pumped in, and things will just carry on getting better. But definitely, yeah, the innovation, like the big competition right now, is what's driving a huge amount of innovation in the space, and that's good and it's healthy for any scene.
Cool. So going back to university life now, you mentioned that you played Dota. Were you involved with like your esports or game society whilst you were there?
Yeah. So I think that was the first society that I joined when I got to university. Was I joined Swansea Gaming Society, and in my second year, I became the esports committee member, and I thought it was absolutely great. Joining the society was such a great place to meet some people. I still have lifelong friends that I met through the gaming society, and still play Dota with a lot of them. Um, and it's interesting to see now, just from lurking in like their discords, how much more seriously esports is being taken in the university scene. I think you guys are definitely the helping driving force behind that. Now having a stable circuit that universities can compete in across multiple titles means that everyone's taking it so much more seriously than they did like when I was a committee member. And we barely had anyone sign up for teams, and you were really kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel trying to get teams together for different titles sometimes. But now, just looking in like the Swansea esports Discord, there are hundreds and hundreds of people that are interested in Counter Strike, Dota, League, everything. So it's really good to see how it's grown. Even I guess it's been almost 5 years since I was at uni, so it has been a while now. Feels like yesterday, but
I'm the same. No need to worry about that. But yeah, I mean Swansea are doing great. To be fair,
yes.
they've been doing amazing. We'll be releasing our points table later today, hopefully. So be interesting to see how they turn up there. Um, but yeah, if you basically if students were looking at pursuing a career similar to yours, what do they need to do to get there, essentially?
So if they want to specifically do what I'm doing now, like software engineering in the scene, you just need to learn software and a bit of broadcast engineering. You don't necessarily need a degree in it, but it's something that you need to know to become a software engineer. You obviously need to be quite competent in software engineering, and you need to have a huge passion to kind of and drive to innovate in the space. Um, you can't be afraid to try new things, because a lot of the time what we're doing is really diving into the unknown. Like there are a lot of problems you're going to have that you can't Google your way out of, or go to Stack Overflow and find someone who's come up with a programming solution. You're really on your own with a lot of things. So it's having the will to just try something. If it fails, that's fine. You know, you learn from failure. It's not a bad thing trying something and it not working out. Um, in terms of doing like freelance kind of tournament operations work, I'd say volunteer at everything possible. Um, iSeries, Epic LAN, anything. Some of my fondest memories still of esports and kind of the uni days were at Epic LAN, and I met some incredible people whilst volunteering there that I still talk to today. Um, and then just kind of reach out to people. You know, don't be afraid to reach out to someone at Blast, at ESL, at any other TO, and say that you're interested in doing some work with them. I know like every TO just has a big list of admins, and they constantly want to expand the pool of good people in the space. So always reach out to someone, say you're interested, especially if you've gone and got experience at Epic LAN or iSeries. And then at some point you should be given a chance to prove yourself. But yeah, definitely my biggest bit of advice is get involved in literally as many things as you possibly can, and have some fun with it as well. Like,
Yeah.
you know, especially when you're volunteering, you're not being paid to do something, so you can enjoy yourself at an event. Like, you still have a bit of responsibility, but enjoy the days of being able to volunteer at these events, because I can't do it anymore and I miss it.
Cool. And yeah, lastly, my final question, definitely related to the last question. But like, what do you think students looking to get into the esports industry, what could they do to stand out? Because it's such a competitive industry, like you said, you have to do lots of volunteering. to sort of get that first big opportunity?
Yeah, I definitely think kind of innovation is still a key point. Trying something new and not being afraid to do something different within the scene, whether that's how you run a tournament, if you're creating graphics, literally anything. Just try and innovate in some way. Don't just kind of go with what everyone else is doing. You have to make something to stand out. And also, I think just being a very pleasant person to work with is such a key point that's very
Help it.
understated. Um, Especially when you get to these kind of big tier one LAN shows, it's incredibly stressful for so many people. And if you're just a really nice, pleasant person to be around and like don't make everyone else's life stressful, you're going to do much better than someone who's stressing all the time. So like even in the face of adversity, just be a friendly face to people around. And then I'd also say work on tangible skills that you can apply to esports. I think something that I've said many times to many people is that you can't go to university and get a degree in Formula One. Like, Formula One is such a huge area that if someone told you they were doing a degree in Formula One, you'd be like, what are you on about? Esports is in that scope. It is absolutely massive. If you want to get involved in esports, you have to really focus on one specific area and then apply the skills from that area to esports. For instance, me doing computer science and software engineering at Blast, there's marketing, there's finance, there's so many different areas that need talented people. Graphic designers, things like that. All these areas need incredibly talented people that have these tangible skills and then apply them into the esports space.
Awesome, cool. That's the main part of our section of our questions. Where can people follow you on socials, Doig?
I'm on Twitter at getdoiged. And that's about it, really. I don't really post anywhere else.
Fair enough. Cool. Thank you. So yeah, thanks everyone who's been watching. We do have our Intel FutureGen Hub on our website. If you want to look at any previous broadcasts that we've done, we've got a massive catalogue going back a few years now, with some great content on there in case you're interested in lots of different areas of esports. Cool. So yeah, thanks for your time again, Doig. We're going to be heading into a private Q&A now with the Intel FutureGen cohort. But yeah, we'll see you guys soon.